father was part of the Nike Zeus missile program.
Correct.
With the Army Air Force.
Correct.
I believe he served with the 505 as well. I've read, because I'm a missile expert, I've read a lot of his work. Especially your father was a specialist in two-stage rocket designs. When I was with the DTRA, Defense Threat Reduction Agency, we've read a lot of his paperwork because I'm one of the weapons inspectors, and history is important. So when Dell said John Durst, I kept on saying to her, "Why do I know that name?" And I said, "What's he do?" He says, "A lawyer." And for the life of me, I couldn't understand why I knew a lawyer by the name of John Durst.
Yeah, he kept saying, another name. And I said, well, he's a really famous lawyer. And he said, no, I know that name. And then he did something.
And then when I ran across the website, I ran into Colonel John Edmund Durst and said, holy shit. So yeah, matter of fact, what I will do is I'll call a buddy of mine down the Pentagon.
You do what?
I will call a friend of mine down the Pentagon. And I think some of your father's work is going to be classified. And what I will do is I'll get you a copy of some of his earlier missile work.
Oh man, that'd flip me out, you know. That would just be phenomenal. That would be unbelievable.
Your father was one of the frontiersmen on second multiple stage rocket system.
On what?
Multiple stage rocket system.
Right.
And so, of course, we read a lot of his work early on in the missile program because, of course, we understand all that, how it began. And a lot of his work, most of it, about 95% of it, all classified.
Was what?
All classified. Matter of fact, it wasn't even top secret. It's what we know as code red. If you didn't have the code right, you couldn't get access to the reports.
18 years now, you know? And I never knew.
Yeah, but you see, in my community,
What he's done, really.
in my community, those who were frontiersmen on the missile programs, especially the defense missile programs, are legends. My father's one. The fact that he was in the what we know as the pencil designs, he was one of the key players in the actual vehicle, launch vehicle, the warhead, the launch vehicle.
Right.
You got to realize most of the later missile systems, anti-missile and anti-defense missile systems, are all based on the father's.
Wow. But then you like around the house, so your dad was famous, so he had his books, or that made history, or...
No, man. I'm still wondering if you're making this up.
I'll tell you what. Let me get. How would I know that? If that's the case, how would I know your father worked on a I'm a duck out of water. I asked her who the guy playing was. Do you know? I have no idea who it is. I mean, it's out of my league. But your father is not out of my league because it's part of my
You would have been a very young guy.
No, it's not the point of knowing who the man was who the meeting is. It's knowing his work. We all have to study his work, people's works. And the earlier works, for example, Warner von Braun, we've all had to study that. Even though I went to Brown University in the 70s, in the late 60s, doing chump change, we had still to study it. When you went into the missile program, you studied the history of how we developed our missile system.
Step by step, so you could kind of
player by player.
the way to really understand.
And of course, as a physicist, you key in on those physicists to help develop the program. Your father and those people help develop the program for the Army.
Oh my God! Don't you have like certificates?
So I mean, the point is that Durst in the missile community, in the missile community, is a well-known name. So it's not that you make it up. It's very hard to make this stuff. And the Nike Zeus missile system was a deployed missile system. It wasn't like one of our weapons. We had it all over the place. And I think the closest one to here was in Watchtown. Chunk, New Jersey. We had a missile system. So I mean, and then understand your father's work on the launch vehicle.
Why are you Steve?
Of course, we don't
And where did
extrapolate
Steve
on
come from?
the missile
Your
father
grandfather
predominantly was a launch
Jay.
vehicle specialist.
That's
Not the warhead, but he designed the solid state rocket systems in the 60s. He was one, actually, what I should say, he was one of the premier military designers.
Wow, that's amazing.
His father worked with classified. As a matter of fact, all of the work is still classified. 50 years later, to your father and say, Colonel John Durst, I'm going, thank you, Zeus. That's where I am. Like Zeus program is an offshoot of the German V2 system.
Oh, is that right? That's is that right? That would be the next level?
That is
Because you had all those littler missiles before that.
That's right.
You
You
know?
had the V2, the German V2, and then you had the Americans jump in with Teller and everybody else.
All of it was basically artillery that they ran its
You don't have the chance, baby. You gotta use your card.
Actually, back then, it all came in on the air defense artillery system.
At teacher and see what I can do. Let me see if some of the paperwork has been declassified. Let me run it through the archives and see what pulls up out of Durst.
And what's your first name?
Jay Y.